All right. Call to order the Greenwood Redevelopment Commission on this, the 9th day of August, 2020. If I could have a roll call, please.
Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. Harris.
Present.
Mr. Hopper.
Here.
Mr. Hoover.
Here.
Mr. Mellon.
Here.
Non-voting advisor, Mr. Alexander.
Here.
Thank you.
We have a quorum, and for the record, everybody is present and accounted for in the room. Nobody virtual tonight. Motion to approve our minutes from our July 12th.
I'll motion.
Mr. Harris.
Second.
Mr. Mellon. Any questions, comments, corrections, deletions from anyone? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Minutes are approved 5-0. New business, FedEx annual report for 2021 reported year for economic development project agreement.
And I'll report on that. We received last month the second annual report from FedEx on the project agreement entered into about 2 years ago in July of 2020. And I have reviewed the annual report, compared it to the requirements of the project agreement, and they satisfy the requirements. You're provided a copy in the meeting materials. And just as maybe hitting the highlights, the expenditures that they have made are a little over $100 million on that project. They were required under the agreement, or they projected anyway, spending approximately $23,500,000. They also plan to create no fewer than 100 full-time jobs and 400 additional part-time jobs. There were 2 phases to that, and at this point in time, they're reporting 147 full-time employees with an average hourly wage of $27.76 and 673 part-time employees with an average hourly wage of $16.21. If there's any questions, I would suggest we acknowledge receipts.
Acknowledge receipt. Easy enough. All right. Moving on, old business. Project report downtown revitalization, consideration of contract for services with Delta Services for asbestos removal, 327 West Pearl, 200 East Main.
Sure, these are 2 of the 3 properties that you should be seeing coming down here. Hopefully, whenever the utilities get disconnected from them. 327 West Pearl Street is a house actually owned by Taya, who we're working with to create a possible development parcel there at Pearl Street, and has a small amount of asbestos. 200 East Main Street, shockingly, well, not shockingly actually, asbestos does outlast fires. It's part of its appeal. I just asked, like, how is that still there? Main Street, the only thing left in it was asbestos. That's the old red building there. So $2,000 was a very small amount. Delta will remediate that before we knock it down and dispose of it in a compliant fashion. Payable for the residuals.
I'll move we approve that contract.
So, Mr. Harris, any other questions or comments for Kevin? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. 5-0. Consideration of change order number 1.
Yeah,
This is streetscape.
Streetscapes, I want to point out the total is $29,385.46 net, but the second and third items we're actually billing the back end to Indiana American Water. Greg's office made up some invoices for us. They're basically using some of our signs and actually had our contractor kind of do some work around a thrust block or a kicker that they had. So those costs will be reimbursed by the water company. So we're moving along, and so I'd ask to approve the contract there to move from $4,269,000 to $4,298,385.46.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Mr. Harris, second by Ms. Poe. Questions for Kevin? Those in favor, aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Said American Water is gonna pay us back. Do you know how much?
Yeah, it's EWA 5 and 6, and I wrote IW 5 both. The biggest amount of that is that they used a lot of the barricades and stuff that are ordered to do their water work on Main Street before we turn it.
Old City Park changeover 12, replacement of plantings and tree warranty.
Yes, so the interesting thing about that big park is we require a year warranty, and then if it dies within the year, then the warranty starts over yet again. So that's how some of these have a tail on them. But there was actually some changes, some things we realized that we're doing a little good in the park. We're gonna put those in some places where other things we're not doing as well. And this should, well, we already paid it all out, but this should be the last of the last for Old City Park. So it's a change order of $27,282.
Questions for Kevin? Is there a motion to approve? Motion. Mr. Harris, is there a second? Second. Second.
That's all I have.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All those opposed, nay? Motion approved 5-0. Financial report, monthly financial report.
Bridge.
The link to the financial report is included in your agenda. What I wanted to do, just quickly for the record, when I sent out my status task and email update, we had the preliminary capture and base test values for the county pre-neutralization. This afternoon, we worked with the county auditor's office again. They're still not yet certified, to my knowledge. I think we're still waiting on that. So these are still preliminary, but they have adjusted. So the pre-neutralized captured AVs were actually up to about $750 million, about 35% up year over year. We went back through and looked at impact of appeals, new properties, abatements, et cetera. We went through the neutralization factor process with the county. It's down to about a 20% growth rate year over year on the capture, still up about $100 million year over year in net captured assessed values. That summary is a tax district by tax district comparison year over year. So it's looking at the net assessed values, the base values, and captured values on the left-hand side of the page for page 22, and then all the projected best estimates for page 23. The cumulative change across all Greenwood allocation areas is up approximately 20%, with the aggregate captured AV now projected at $669 million. Like I said, we still are waiting on them to certify these. Once they certify them, we'll be able to produce the tax and financial revenue projections for each allocation area based off those incremental values, and then ultimately proceed with the TIP appropriation resolution for you all to review and consider. One thing I also wanted to point out, I know for many of you that have been on the commission for some time, there's been longstanding goal with that. The $669 million is obviously it's good growth year over year. We're actually expecting similar growth on the net assessed values as well. And it's not been certified. That's what early indications are showing. And I would say the majority of the abatement deductions are within an allocation area as well. There's approximately $200 million in abated real property values as well that will just continue to accrete to those captured values as they roll off. Happy to answer any questions you may have, but I hope that gives you an early indication. Once, hopefully between now and your next meeting, we'll have an update on certified values. We'll be able to be more precise, but wanted to give you the best information we had as of this afternoon. Any questions for us? Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Department reports, Mr. Hudson.
Nothing preparation council.
Okay. Mr. Watson.
Nothing further.
Mr. Wright.
Nothing for me.
All right, here's what we crawled.
No pressure, Mark.
Yeah. Screeching call.
Sorry,
Mr.
I
St. John, you're up.
Thank
No worries.
The first item I have for you all tonight is consideration of a contract with Lockmuir Group. To perform a feasibility study for the widening of Smith Valley Road. We're nearing completion of our probably decades-long approach to widening Worsville Road across the city. And so as we look ahead to the future to improve east-west connectivity across the city, the next one will be Smith Valley Road. So this contract with Lockmuir Group will it'll analyze the entire corridor across the entire city from just west to State Route 135 all the way to Main Street. It'll include about as much of the environmental document as we can do in a feasibility study. There are a couple steps in the environmental document that you need NDOT to participate in. They won't do that because we don't have federal funding for it yet. It'll include 10% roadway design, a right-of-way assessment, so how much right-of-way will we need to acquire to widen the roadway. Utility assessment, how are we going to impact utilities through the corridor, as well as how can we phase this project so that it can be constructed and maximize the potential for federal participation, federal cost share on this. The amount of this contract is $243,300. This does require 2 readings, so this is the first reading for you today.
Or do we know, I guess first question, has the county done something similar from what will be the 69 exit? over-
Yeah, I'm not sure if they did a whole feasibility study. They're actually going ahead, my understanding is, and widening the 4 lanes, which is another reason why we want to get ahead of this. You know, there's a new interchange going in at State Route 37 when that becomes an actual interstate. And so the county is looking to widen the 4 lanes through Center Grove, through the county section there. And that's another reason that we should probably widen as well to 4
I
lanes.
was just gonna suggest if they hadn't done it, we should contact them and see if they wanted to share, yeah.
Pretty sure they
Partner,
already
if
have
they've
it
already,
under-
if they've already done it, good, good on them.
Yeah, I think they already have those improvements under design. And I know there was a lot of back and forth at county council meetings and how they're gonna fund that construction.
Quick question.
Yes.
The paperwork we were given references in Exhibit A, and I didn't find that in the document.
There was also a scope and fee. I don't know if it was labeled as Exhibit
That's
A.
my bad. I'll get it posted today.
It's in there. It's the Lockmuir scope and fee in the share folder. It just doesn't say Exhibit A.
Okay, I'll get it labeled correctly. I don't know, it may not be.
That's good. Oh, well, there is a scope.
Yeah, that's the exhibit.
Yeah, it's appendix A, it's right above it, like
It's
in the folder, it's right above it.
I'll email it to
All
you.
right, good. Thank you.
Not in the document. but in the folder. All right. Thanks, sir. Next.
Okay, the next item, I think the next item is Morrisville Road Section 2 change order number 2. This change order is for $4,000. As far as the project development process, we acquired a fair amount of right of way along this corridor. For this particular location, it's 1087 West Stones Crossing Road. Part of the condemnation package, the money we paid during right of way acquisition was to abandon and properly remove a well that's going to be under our roadway cross section. The well was not abandoned and properly removed, and so this change order is to cover the cost to cap that well, get documentation in place so that we can build a road in that location.
Motion So change order number 2.
This is $4,000.
$4,000.
So moved.
Mr. Booth, second. Second. Mr. Bell. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion approved 5-0.
The last item I have before you is Worsville Road Section 3. So that's the section that was open to traffic and constructed last summer. The contractors actually finished all their punch list items on that now. I believe all their work is complete on it. This change order before you tonight is in the amount of $35,160. It covers the cost to place the guardrail in front of a pond that's located on the south side of Worsville Road, just east of Autumnwood Drive and west of Somerset Park. Guardrail from the bridge west of Autumnwood Drive. That was not part of the original contract. The city requires actually that guardrail be placed in front of bodies of water, so we had to add that back in.
Is there not a guardrail there now?
There is now, when the roadway construction was completed, it went up in May. There was one before construction started.
There was one before construction, we tore it down. Right. Put up a new one. Okay. Is there a motion to approve this? You said 35,160, is that, am I reading that right?
Yes.
Does that still put us, I see that it's under budget from what we originally budgeted for this project in total, do you know?
I don't know what the RDC originally budgeted for this project. I can tell you we're about 40% change orders on this project.
So moved.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion approved 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anything from the mayor's office?
Nothing from the mayor's office.
All right. Claims docket. Claims docket for August, $4,005,313.41. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Hoover. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Anybody else on the internet or in the building here have anything for us? All right. Hearing none, we will stand adjourned.